Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting. I appreciate you being here at the channel today. And for you folks that are finding us for the very first time, it's your initial visit here to the channel, please take a moment and subscribe. And then also, if you find the information beneficial and helpful to you, please hit that like button as well. Now, to learn more about my company and what we do to help folks in the gym industry, please check out our links below. And I would initially point you to our courses section. For any of you folks that are looking to shorten the learning curve, you're looking to improve bottom line profitability, in our courses section you'll find the Gym Management Playbook. And the Gym Management Playbook was designed specifically to help you shorten that learning curve, improve bottom line profitability, and to do it quickly. So if you're looking to accomplish that, if you're new to the industry, if you're struggling, it's going to be a great resource for you. So check that out, see if it's for you. We hope to see you there soon. And then number two, for any of you folks that are looking to open a new facility or you're looking to expand your existing operation with additional marketing, additional staff, additional equipment, click that gym funding link below, for the potential of qualifying for up to $250,000 in funding, with no collateral. So with all that said, let's get into our topic here today, and it's 12 tips on how gym owners can think big. 12 tips on how gym owners can think big. And I would even add to that, you don't necessarily have to be a gym owner. You can be in management, you can be in sales, you can be in any capacity to start thinking big. And one of the things, before I jump into these 12 tips, one of the things that I find frequently is it's very much a tendency, we just over time, or maybe it's just our natural way of doing things, there's a tendency to think small. And the folks that get the best results, that accomplish the most, they think big. And I think in most situations that I become involved with, whether it's salespeople, whether it's gyms, it's ownership, whether we're struggling, we're kind of stuck in mediocrity, or we're doing well, one of the first things we can do, no matter where we're at, is to simply change our think bigger. The beautiful thing about thinking bigger, it doesn't cost anything. It's free, okay? So let me give you some tips on things that we see that can help you change your think and can help you think big. So number one, get in the habit of viewing obstacles as opportunities. In every crisis, there is an opportunity. And so much of this, we want to change how we think. Just change your think, and things start to change for you. So when an obstacle occurs, we're coming out of a pandemic obstacle. There's a lot of folks that broke sales records during that time. Okay, a lot of new opportunities were created. A lot of great situations happened. Not for everybody. Okay, but learn to view obstacles, learn to view crisis as opportunities. Number two, be creative. Okay, be creative. A couple things on that is I would suggest, kind of aligning yourself a little bit with other industries. What are other industries doing for marketing? How are they creating urgency? How are they creating value? How are they marketing to an uncontested market space? How are they solving problems? Look at what other industries are doing. Okay. I would also suggest, folks like myself, business consultants in the industry. If you have attorneys, if you have accountants that specialize, in the industry, particularly folks that have kind of walked the walk, what have they seen? What do they see happening? What do they see that has worked and what has not worked? I know for me as an owner, I made the habit, I'd call around all the time. Hey, who's doing great at this? Who's doing great at this? Who's doing great at this? What have you heard? I'd get to know owners all across the country. And in many cases, they'd invite me out to spend the week with them. And I figured out what they're doing. How can I bring that back to my business? And so learn to be creative. Don't just get stuck in what you're trying to do right here. Okay. Number three, collaborative brainstorming sessions. Have collaborative brainstorming sessions. And again, you can do this almost, you can use the channel here for that a little bit, okay? You can use folks like myself, business consultants that, you have those collaborative brainstorming sessions with. And another great resource for you, how about your staff? I mean, when I talk about this, I'm always reminded of a group that I was working with, and we were having we're going to have a front desk meeting, and because I wanted to hear, what was going on and what people thought and what their opinions were. Now, with all that said, I don't allow any negatives in the meeting. Okay, if they want negatives, it's one-on-one, just us, afterwards. And so no negative, just an open, objective conversation on what's working, what's not. But I wanted everybody there. Okay, but it's collaborative, everybody. And we had folks that were working, 1 or 2 hours in the weekend that showed up for this meeting, and they offered some of the best insight. So you never know where it's going to come from. So on a regular basis, you can schedule it or just, prompt it, but that collaborative brainstorming sessions, and I've even called it, possibility thinking. Okay, if you don't like brainstorming sessions, let's, possibility thinking. Okay, what can you do? Number 4, invite more ideas from different people. Invite more ideas from different people. We're trying to think big. Invite more ideas from different people. And one of the strategies that I use to give you a sense of how I look at this is, inviting more ideas from different folks, is whenever I get involved in a turnaround, with a facility, I'll send out what I call a get acquainted worksheet. And it kind of goes to all key personnel, and it's all confidential. And they'll fill it out, they'll send it back, and I'll learn more about them and how they view the company and, what's working, what's not. And I'll interview them. Whether it's, on the phone or it's in person, but I'll interview every one of them using this as my guide. And one of the questions I will always ask, hey, what would you do if you were the owner? What would you do if you were in charge? I want ideas from everybody. I want to hear what they have to say, because in most cases, if it fits kind of within the parameters of how we like to get things done, I'm going to use it. Okay, so invite more ideas from different people. What would you do in this situation? Doesn't mean you have to go along with it, okay? But you're trying to get more ideas. And I know a lot of times when I do that and I'm talking to somebody, maybe something they say today doesn't really fit, but 3 or 4 months ago, hey, remember when we talked about, and then now it fits, okay? So invite more ideas from different people. Okay, we're talking about how we can start thinking big. Number 5, just do it. Just do it. Don't procrastinate on kind of anything, really. What you want to understand, I think, is that there is a cost to inaction. There's a cost to inaction. And many times, the cost of inaction can be greater than the cost of taking action. In many ways, I'd rather take action. Maybe it's not perfect, but I take action. That's a better solution than taking no action at all. Okay, so do your research, know where you're at, make it more calculated, don't go blind, but take action, just do it. Okay. Number 6, you want to consider a few things. Here's what I mean, okay, is we're trying to think big. And we should have, if we don't, you want to get some short-term goals, long-term goals. And when I talk about, consider a few things, consider these short-term goals, how do they impact the long-term goals? I've seen some situations we get involved with that will make these short-term decisions or have these short-term goals, but when you look at the long-term goals, it's going to require some kind of a significant change. We want this to roll right into it, okay? So when you're looking at your short-term goals, make sure, in a manner of speaking, I think they're kind of symbiotic with what those long-term goals are. Number 7, we're trying to think big. Let's make sure we're solving our customers' problems. Okay, our members, are we solving our members' problems? Our prospects, are we solving their problems? If you're a gym owner, are you solving your staff's problems? Are we solving our vendors' problems? How about the merchants in the local community? We want to be in the business of solving problems. We want to be in the business of providing solutions. Okay, this is one of the key ones. This is a foundational one of being able to really think big. We have to be able to solve problems for folks. That's what gives us value. Okay. Number 8, start with small blocks. You guys ever, use blocks? You have the blocks, you line them up here, just 1, 2, 3, and you just stack them on top of each other, and all of a sudden maybe you got 50 blocks, standing there, but you start with one. Okay, start with small blocks. And the example that I would give on this, and I spoke about this on another video here recently, but this was a club that I got involved with, several years back. And it's a club, nice club, but it really was doing very poorly. And I've been asked to take it over, did some research on it, elected to take it over, because I did see great opportunity with it. And I'll never forget meeting with the staff. I said, my focus here, my intent is for this to be the best club in the United States. This will be the best club. Now, I knew that wasn't going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. It was going to take some time here. Okay, there was a lot that needed to be done. But we're going to start with small blocks. First thing we're going to do is telephone inquiry log sheet, guest registers, needs analysis, how we take a tour, how we do the second sale, just core fundamentals. And we're going to start to build around that, develop consistency in it. We're going to be training our staff and recruiting staff and creating a certain atmosphere and all the things are going to go into this. But we're starting with small blocks and working our way up. Number 9. And for you folks that have followed me for a while, you hear me talk about this quite a bit, but figure out your why. If you want to think big, figure out your why. Why are you doing this? Why is this important to you? Okay, understand the why. Why are you doing it? And my advice here is don't make it just about money. Okay, go bigger than that. Okay, but why is this important to you? Number 10, we have to have a survival instinct. Okay, if we want to think big, we have to be able to survive, and part of that is adaptability. We have to be able to adapt, and constantly what I'm looking at when we're working with gyms in terms of your plan of action or even a business plan is roadblocks and setbacks. What kind of potential roadblocks and setbacks do we anticipate here? And so we're going to write them out, and then what are the solutions? Because we do not want, nor can we allow any roadblock or setback to get us on a different course or to stop us. This goes back to that really first thing we talked about here on the video is we want to view obstacles as opportunities, but we're planning for it. Be adaptable. Be adaptable. Things happen. Let's pivot if we have to, but we're still going to get results. Okay, that's not going to be a reason that we don't get them. Okay. Number 11, identify your fears and negative self-talk. Don't get into this negative self-talk mode. Okay, this is a killer here because we start putting these things into our head, and I see this frequently. Boy, before you know it, it's true. Okay, and we can go either direction. And just from a management standpoint, I want to catch people doing something right. I want to reinforce doing something right. I'm going to train on things that we need to work on. But I'm going to reinforce what we're doing right. I'm going to point out what we're doing right. I don't want folks being afraid to make a mistake. I don't want myself to be afraid to make a mistake. One of the things that I would suggest that we do is continually revisit success stories. Revisit success stories at whatever level they were. Revisit them. This is the mindset that you want. Okay? And then number 12, last on our list, is think about partnerships. In a manner of speaking. If you're opening up a new gym and maybe you don't have the funding, maybe you bring on a partner that does. If you're opening up a new gym, you don't have the expertise of day-to-day operations, maybe you bring on somebody that does. And so maybe it's not a total partnership, maybe it's joint ventures, maybe it's investment opportunities, with debt and some of that nature. But think about, who else do you need to associate with to help make you a success? We kind of do this all the time anyway. We go to the bank for a loan, we go to the landlord for a lease, and that's really the same thing. But think about that at all levels. Okay, what do you need? Who do you need to collaborate with to really make this thing a success? So, folks, take a look at this. 12 tips on how gym owners can think big. And if you're not a gym owner, if you aspire to be one, or if you're in sales or in management, I think all of these can apply at some level. You want to think bigger than what you're currently doing. This is something you can do immediately that can improve your business, and it's going to cost you nothing. All right, folks, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. I appreciate you being here today, and we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.